Okay, I think we'll start so that it doesn't stretch beyond 6 p.m. since we had mentioned that we will be here for an hour. So, hello and welcome everybody. I am so happy to be here with all of you on this Power Pack webinar. Thank you so much for giving us and trusting us with your 1 hour. And I'm sure and I promise you that end of this webinar, you're going to have a lot of takeaways and a lot of learnings and a lot of connection amongst each other. I mean, we and you. And we'll see how we take this journey further. Now, having said that, let me first of all acknowledge that we are into these a bit of a crisis time, and there is a lot of confusion, there is a lot of uncertainty, there is a lot of unnecessary things that keep cropping up in our minds, which we would not want to keep happening to us. And hence, we thought, why not just open up this forum to, instead of just mulling over or worrying over certain things, why not we learn some things, why not we connect over certain things, and why not add value to each other's life. And that's how this webinar was born. Myself, my partner Mihir, we have our moderator Kajal Savla with us, and our business development team Tarun Hingorani. So welcome everybody. My name is Jaya Obhan, and Okay, so my PPT is not showing up. Anyways, so my name is Jaya Obhan, and I am a corporate trainer. I'm a business consultant, and I do a lot of HR work for corporates. And I am a author and a keynote speaker too. And I connect with a lot of businesses for their people development initiatives. So that's about me. And so something about my credibility. I have my clients in place already because last year I started my own company, and I have worked with a lot of corporates after that. My clients are somebody called Buildtech India, Neokinetic, and so many of them. I'll be sharing it with you later on. And now I would like to introduce my partner, Mihir Koltharkar. Mihir, over to you.
So hello everybody. First of all, a warm welcome to you for this wonderful Power Pack webinar. I'm sure you have taken the right step. This 1 hour that you are investing in yourself, even if you are able to learn just one thing, it is going to change your life for good. So I welcome you all with a nice learning attitude that you have come in. This COVID situation, it has taught us a lot, and we are still learning. We don't know till when this situation is going to last, and we hope that things get normal very soon. But till that time, it is essential for us to go ahead and learn something, to develop ourselves, to prepare ourselves for the future. So just a bit about myself. Who am I? I'm going to share a nice small PowerPoint over here. There you go. So that's me on the stage. This is on the World SME Summit, where I was speaking on how to have a sustainable business when the situations are very challenging. I have been into the training and development domain for the last 20 years. I have conducted sessions in 9 countries, more than 2,000 plus sessions, and more than 200 nationalities. I have been on the TEDx twice. I am an author, I'm a keynote speaker, and my life purpose is to add value to people's lives. So you would see over here, some of them, they call me the smiling Buddha of sales just because of the nice smile that I have, and probably some of the inputs that I give about sales. You would also see me on the TEDx stage over there. That was TEDx Parichok. And then I spoke on the another TEDx platform. Some people call me Mr. Sales as well. I have been invited by a lot of organizations to help them with their sales and with their negotiation skill sets. So this is something which I do. I am very passionate about adding value. And when Jaya and we were discussing about this opportunity to add value to people's lives, we said, why not just have a webinar over here and help people to scale up or to think differently during this particular point of time. Now, one thing we all know for sure is that no enterprise can survive if it cannot profitably sell its products or services. I mean, in the entire world right now, there is not even one single organization which can survive without profits. We have seen that even during this COVID stage, unfortunately, there have been organizations who were forced to close down, or who had to lay off their staff as well. The only reason being is that they had not made so much of profits because of which they could sustain. So I think it is not just about selling, but it is also about selling it profitably. That matters the most. This is one of the sales cycles for any entrepreneur or any small and medium enterprise or any non-retail segment. So usually it is, if you have to generate money, you need to close more sales. You need to negotiate for that. For negotiation stage, you need to propose and convince people to buy your products. For that, you need to have meetings. For that, you need to have calls. And there are so many different things which actually come in play. But if you look at the last two elements, which is the close and which is the negotiate, if you are not able to do that, then you would never be able to profitably sell your products and services, right? So that's just a bit about why this webinar is so important for you all. At any point of time, if you feel that there are any questions that you may have, towards the end of the webinar, we are going to take questions, but I urge you to jot down those kind of questions so that you don't miss out. We are here to help you. We are here to support you. And let's make this 1 hour the most interesting 1 hour of our life. Fine. So now I invite Jaya to take things forward.
Now I'm back with my PowerPoint. It's in place. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay, so I'll just share this. Yeah, so like I said, I have been a speaker also, and I work with a lot of corporates already, and I have also worked with a lot of small businesses. And this is some of the work that I've done. I was honored by an award this year, which is from Aspiring She. It is for women entrepreneurs, and they were all good celebrities who conferred this award upon me, and I was really happy and thankful. These are some of the clientele that I have been working with. This picture, the group picture that I have just shown here, is with Roger Hamilton's team. I'm a part of their core team, and there is a lot that I have had an opportunity to learn from them, the international standards of business and how people grow their business. And even during crisis time, whether it is COVID-19 today or it is something else, we were already waiting and expecting artificial intelligence to come in and change the entire system and sway the industry by its feet. But now it's this, and then tomorrow it will be something else. So even during crisis, even during times when businesses cannot really flourish, how do we not only sustain? Because I absolutely do not believe in just surviving. I believe in reinventing. So how do we reinvent, right? Okay. So moving forward, first of all, let us just see that what are the three basic mistakes which business owners do. The first most important thing is, what is this man doing? He is into too much of worry. When we start worrying, when we start, just fighting for our survival, the most important essence of our business is lost, because then we cannot see further. We cannot see, 1 or 10 steps ahead. We are just like moving very, very, very slow. But if you just do not worry about survival and you see a little ahead of time, a little ahead of what this scenario actually is, it is extremely helpful. And believe me, it not only takes away your worry, it gives you so much creativity you cannot even imagine. So reinvention and revival is not an option. It is compulsion if you're looking at survival, because survival is like a byproduct of reinvention and revival. So that is something that so many of our business owner friends do not understand. And being peers, and we being into business, Mihir being into business, we all are into business. And also by researching about this was the first and the most important thing that I concluded, that we cannot be into survival mode, because only survival mode is not going to take us anywhere. We have to be in a renewal mode, in a revival mode. We need to think of various things that can take us to the next step. The next mistake that entrepreneurs do is not knowing how to get support. Now, when I mean not knowing how to get support is, first of all, we are in so much panic. We just do not see the right kind of people also around us. So, when our mind is totally filled up with what will happen, what will not happen, we are so desperate about understanding how do we manage our cash flows and how do we manage, rest of the things with our teams, with rest of the people, that we cannot even see that, there are so many people around us who are already there waiting to support us, but we are not able to take their support. Also, being an entrepreneur, sometimes it becomes very lonely, especially when you do not have large teams, or you are the only CEO or the only person who's at the head right now. It sometimes becomes very lonely, and you do not know whom do you go to advise for, because everybody is coming to you for advice. So in such times, you always need some kind of collaboration, some kind of peer, or you can say some kind of a mastermind group that can share some of their real time case studies with you. You can share with them your problems, you all can brainstorm some problems, some solutions, and then come to some kind of consensus. So the second mistake, biggest mistake that we do is we just forget everything, and we are like, what do we do? Can we even contact somebody? What can we do? What can we not do? So that is something that really takes away the entire charm of the thing. The next mistake is that we communicate a lot. We probably pick the call and call people. We probably go on online, virtually talking to each other, making video calls, doing all sorts of things at this time, of course, because meeting is not possible. But even when we meet, whenever we communicate, we forget the important sense of communication, which is rapport. So it is not just that you go, you meet people, you talk to people, and you go sell them, talk to them. That is not the way how we need to pitch or start things. We need to understand that whether we are communicating virtually or in person or any medium of communication, there has to be a connect, right? We have heard of this thing called vibe. Some people give us good vibe, bad vibe. What is that? That is the kind of communication that we are having, right? So if we can make that kind of rapport, and rapport will come when you have some kind of commonality amongst yourself, when you have some kind of genuine concern and intention to serve, rapport will come. However, having said that, these three mistakes are something that entrepreneurs make. Let us see what is it that can be done. What are the action that we can take? Okay, so now we know that, okay, where is it that we are lagging? Now let's see how do we take this forward. What is the action that will take us to the next level, or maybe to 10 leaps ahead of this? Let us see. So first, now I will urge each one of you, and it's my request to everybody, that please, let us just do this today itself. Let us bring ourselves into action right now. So what is the first action that we will take is creating new ideas, taking a leap in your business. Now, creating new ideas, I think every day, at least we must jot down one new business idea which is related to our field. Now, what will happen is, suppose if, like we are into coaching and mentoring and all of that, suppose if I just directly want to go and start manufacturing something, maybe masks, it is going to be very challenging, and then I will have to learn another skill set which I'm totally unaware of. I will have to collaborate with totally different kind of people. My entire network will be changed to somewhere else, right? So if you're thinking of new products, it is a good idea that you think of something which is within your own field or within your own industry. That is one thing. Having said that, apart from products, we should also jot down list of people that we can connect with, the vendors, some associates, or someone or the other. Now let's see how. Connecting with your peers and collaborating as much as possible. Now, when we connect with our peers, first of all, like Mihir and myself, okay, we have been into, he's my senior, of course, and he is also mentored me at many occasions. Now, this was the time that even same thing happened with me, right? Now, there are going to be no speaking gigs in the near future. The corporates will definitely have cut down budgets on trainings. Even if they do not have budget issues, it's not going to be possible to have the 30-40 people training that we usually used to have. So what do we do? Instead of that panic and that, thought what to do, what not to do, the thing, I reached out to Mihir. I told him that this is what is in my mind. Let's collaborate over this. And he agreed. But if I would just sit down and think, I don't think he will agree. Why will he want to work with me? It would never work. right? So first thing is to recognize the people, our peers who can complement us. Our competitors need to be seen as our friends today, because whether we like it or not, they are our peers, they are competitors, but they are our friends also, because they are like-minded people, they are doing similar stuff like what we do, right? So we need to reach out to them, and to reach out to them, there is a certain way that we need to approach, which makes them come back and cooperate with us for things which may not be into their kitty at that point in time, but they still want to help us out. So there are certain skills and certain ways of to communicate with people which help us do that. Having said that, let me come to the third point, which is rapport building. Now, this is again one action that I will really, really want everybody to take, which is when you're communicating, connecting with anybody, try to build a rapport. Why rapport is important is because it immediately makes a very, very long-term relationship, which is not just confined to business or selling your product or talking about only professionalism, but it merges professionalism with personal connect, and then that's a long term relationship. And this is one thing which helps us have lifelong loyal customers, because once you have a rapport with somebody, they are not going anywhere, because now they know you professionally as well as the kind of person you are, the values that you stand for, and how reliable you can be. So that is extremely important. I will just give a quick yesterday I had this session on rapport, and there are so many friends who have joined us today again from that session, and thank you everyone for coming. I would just like to mention here that people will never remember, or they may remember, either they may or may not remember what you speak to them. People may or may not remember what you did for them, but they will 110% remember how you made them feel. And the way you make them feel is by the way you connect with them, by the kind of vibe you give them out, and that vibe which comes back, and the connection that happens. And usually that connection happens with people when there is something common between us, when there is a commonality, when there is a concern, when there is a connect, automatically rapport happens. And of course, this is also a skill that one must build. And today itself, after this webinar, I would really want you people to take this action. First is creating a new product line in your own industry, talking to somebody with whom you can click a rapport. Maybe you must connect with some of your old clients, some of your new prospects, some of your friends who could be your clients, or whichever, maybe some of your vendors. Ask them how they are managing in these times, what are they doing, and stuff like that. Just building that kind of relationship, and let's see then what happens. I would like to know what happens then. This era, which I mean by currently the era that we are, and the time that will come after this, because life is never going to be the same again. Already, there are so many memes and jokes about BC and, before Corona and after Corona kind of a life is going to come. So the coming era is going to demand how you seek cooperation, how you build rapport with people, the kind of relationship you have with people, and how you have market dominance, how you're always a pitch above your competitors. So this is going to be something that we really need to look forward to. And now I will want Mihir to take it from here and also tell you something about how we need to, go about this. Over to you, Mihir.
Sure.
Ajal, can we have spotlight on Mihir, please? Yeah, okay, Mihir, you can go on.
Hi. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Jaya. I think the points that you have mentioned are really amazing points. I believe that the things, if people take action right now, doing things that they should be doing it, the future is going to be amazing. It is not a challenge. I always believe that Charles Darwin mentioned that it is not the strongest or the fittest to survive. It is those who are most adaptable to change. And that is something that we should also be looking at. Now, when you look at negotiation or when you look at closings per se, let me ask you first, what happens when you close profitably? So I do understand that after COVID, things are going to be a bit different. People are going to be hungry for business. Your competitors are also going to be hungry for business. So the moment you approach your client first will not have much of budget to spend. Second is there are a lot of options which would be available in the market. At that point of time, you may get tempted to lose out on your profit just to gain that business. Now, I'm not saying whether you should be doing that or whether you should not be doing that, but let me ask you, what happens when you close that benefit you? So, if you close profitably, the first thing is that it definitely benefits you. It is going to make sure that you are still in business. If you are employed, you still have your job. You are still earning your salary or you're still earning your incentives. So if you close profitably, obviously you are going to reach closer to your targets, which is going to secure your place. Second, it is not just you, but your colleagues too. Because if you are able to close profitably, your colleagues are going to be inspired by you. They are going to say, wow, if he or she can close, I can close too. And business is not bad. The situation is not as bad. So their mindset is going to change. They are going to start thinking positively, which is going to be more beneficial because more positive the environment which is there, the better are the chances of getting more business. The third, who's going to benefit? Your organization. Obviously, you are here because your organization is there. If you're working for an organization, they are paying your salary because they are making profits. If they are not able to make profits, if they are not able to survive, then your salary, your incentives, your financial stability, everything goes for a toss. So it is essential for us to contribute by doing our job and contribute to the organization's success. If we are able to do that, then we secure our place in the market, we secure our place in this professional arena. Who else is going to get benefited? The investors. The investors who have invested in your organization or your business. So they are also going to look out for profits. And this is one way in which you can secure a brighter future with your investors. Who else is going to benefit? Your customers. Well, if you are able to secure profitable business, you are able to do something more for your customer. You may develop a new product line. You may develop a new process. You may add up more locations. So you may be able to serve more customers. And hence, customers will also get benefited. And last, not the least, but the most important one, your loved ones. Obviously, if your life is great, then your loved one's life is also great. So closing a deal profitably is going to help everybody. And you should always focus on how can I close profitably instead of giving away discounts and just to secure the sale. I'm going to share one scenario. Now, some of you may be wondering who this gentleman is in this photograph. So he is Theodore Roosevelt. He was the president of United States of America. And what I'm going to share right now is a real life situation which had happened. So the year was 1912 and Teddy Roosevelt or Theodore Roosevelt, he was not the president at that point of time. He was running for that presidential position. So he was going ahead and campaigning to secure his seat as the president of United States of America. At that point of time, he had a campaign manager. The campaign manager was responsible to manage the funds and to make sure that a lot of advertisement is done, a lot of rallies are done. Now, at this time, there were about 3 million leaflets which were printed, which had this photograph of Theodore Roosevelt. Now, this photograph was a very strong kind of photograph, which kind of, the campaign manager thought that if this photograph is seen by so many people, it will make sure that the image of Theodore Roosevelt as a president will get secured. The leaflets were printed and a grave error was noticed. What was the error? The error was that the copyrights for this photograph were not secured. The photographer who had clicked this photograph had copyrighted this image, and the permission to use this photograph was not taken. Now, what it meant for the campaign is, if the photographer notices that his photograph is used, they could sue the campaign, and the photographer would be eligible to get $1 per leaflet, which is $3 million as compensation. If $3 million in 1912 go for this kind of settlement, it would ruin the campaign for Theodore Roosevelt. And this was the challenge which the campaign manager was facing. So obviously a negotiation had to happen where the campaign manager had to call the photographer and to negotiate a price. If you were in his position, just think of what would be the amount that you would be willing to negotiate for. I understand some of you might be thinking maybe $1 million, or maybe $2 million, or maybe let me find out and let me do something and let me. I'm going to share exactly what happened. The amount on which this negotiation was closed was minus $250. Minus. Why minus? Because the photographer paid $250 in this particular negotiation. How was that done? The campaign manager called up the photographer and he said, there is an opportunity for your photograph to be visible to 3 million people. How much are you willing to pay? And the photographer said, I'm willing to pay $250 because that's all that I have. And the campaign manager said, yes, and done. Now my question to you is, who was smart? And if you look at it from both sides, some of you would say that, well, it is not ethical. It should not have been done. Fantastic. I do agree. It may not be ethical, but this is real world. This happens. So you look at it from both sides. The campaign manager was not witty. He was planning. He planned it. He understood what the situation demands, what needs to be done, and he did that. He did not reveal all the information. He did not reveal that the leaflets are already printed. He gave an opportunity. So he hid some information and then he negotiated. If you look at it from the photographer's perspective, the photographer was he had not thought about this. If he would have probably taken a step back and said that, let me think, let me get back to you, and then did some kind of research and then put forward a position saying that, okay, this is what my price would be, then probably the photographer could maybe reach at a stage where he would be profited more instead of spending money from the pocket. So what we learn from this particular small example is that if you're not prepared, it is going to cost you. Are you ready to take that chance? So when COVID ends and when the businesses will start getting back to normal, when you start approaching your customers, there is one chance that you're going to get to convince and to close. If you're not prepared, then you might lose that chance. And are you ready to take that chance? That is the question that you should be thinking of. If you look at the sales cycle again, closing comes after negotiation. Now, most of you would say that closing is difficult. We are not able to close businesses. Customers don't buy from us. We get stuck at the last moment. Some of you would even say that I explained every single thing in detail. Still, at the end, the customer refused to buy. I'll tell you a secret over here. The secret is not about closing. The secret is what happens right from the beginning. Are you able to follow a structured approach to sales? And that's what is going to help you close. It is not just about closing. It is about how are you negotiating? How are you proposing? How are you convincing? How were your meetings? Were you able to gauge what are the real needs? How were your calls? were you professional, were you not? And there are hundreds of things which come into play. If you think that sales is easy, you ask any top salespeople from the world, any top salesperson from the Fortune 100 or Fortune 500 companies, and they will tell you sales is not easy. Yes, it does require a lot of knowledge. It requires you to gain a lot of skill sets, and it requires you to have an amazing positive attitude. If you have all of that, then sales is going to be a piece of cake for you. You will be able to go ahead and close, irrespective whether it's COVID, whether it's whatever, it does not matter. And you will still be able to figure out a way and make your sales profitable. I say this closing is similar to proposals. So for all those who may have proposed at some point of the time or the other, you would agree with me that you cannot just go and approach your partner or a stranger rather and give out a ring and say that, no, I love you, do you love me? That does not work. It requires some kind of relationship. It requires some kind of history together. It requires that you go ahead and have some experiences together. Only then that love or the affection would develop. And if that affection or the love is strong enough, and then you pop up this particular box and say that, know what, do you love me? That point of time, you have the chances of closing better. So this is how even your business works. If you are able to go ahead and build a rapport, what Jaya mentioned, that building a rapport is very important. And if you're able to build that rapport, if you're able to go ahead and understand what the customers expect, and you're able to fulfill it, then closing becomes much more simpler. Closing becomes much more easier. So closing is not just about saying, would you like to buy the product? It is not about that. It is about helping the customers to make the right kind of decision. So closing becomes easy if you have identified the buying motivators accurately. So either pain or either pleasure, these are the buying motivators. So identifying it accurately works. If you know the secret indicator while observing body language, body speaks. And if you're able to observe those and identify that secret indicator, you will know when to close, when to ask for that particular question, which will maximize your chances of getting the sales. And the third is the most successful closing techniques and their right approach. I think it is very important to understand that there are about 46 closing techniques. Not all the techniques work for everybody. So understanding what would work and what would not work for you is very important. So there are some techniques which would be very effective in your line of work, or which would be much more suited to your personality. If you're able to figure out, or if you get that kind of knowledge that, okay, I think this would work, or these are the tried and tested approaches and I could work with that, then you would be able to close much easier. So why all of these things that I'm sharing and why these kind of techniques have been useful? So some of my super success stories are, there was a real estate company based in Dubai. They were headquartered in Dubai, and they increased their turnover by 4.5 billion dirhams in 1 year. There were about 800 sales professionals. They followed the structured approach. They planned things and they implemented things. They took action, and because of which they were able to power up. There was a retail and a building materials company. They increased their turnover by $1.2 million. So all they did was they again implemented some of the structured sales techniques, the negotiation techniques which were there. I remember this was a ship repair company. It was based in Qatar, and they were able to save $1 million within the first month of implementing some of the negotiation techniques which I had shared with them. And that's not all. I mean, you could say that these numbers are big, but it's not just about big numbers. It is about even the smaller numbers. So there was an entrepreneur based in Nasik over here who had started his business of industrial equipments. He had 0 clients. So for the first 6 months, he had 0 clients. And then he managed to talk to me. He attended one of my sessions. And after implementing, he managed to get 11 very big clients and 30 other small, mid and small size clients within 6 months. So there are a lot of success stories. One of the reasons why probably I'm called Mr. Sales or the Smiling Buddha of Sales. So I'm here to share all of those things with you. Now, what I believe is that the faster that you start, the better results that you get. There is a tool, there is a technique. All that needs to be done is that you need to get into that zone and start doing those things. If you have that same approach, the results are going to be there. It is like a machine. If you put in the right kind of raw materials, make the machine run properly, the output is going to be there. So sales is no different than that. Business success is no different than that. So what Jaya had mentioned in, think, communication, having new ideas, building rapport, and understanding the closing techniques, understanding the sales process, understanding the negotiation process, and implementing it. And what is the better time than this? Because this is the time that you can actually go ahead and learn a lot of new things. Your competitors are doing that right now. Are you doing that is the question. Okay. So Jaya, over to you. I would want you to go ahead and proceed things.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Mihir. It was indeed so insightful, and it's always so much of a learning when you give us your insights. Thank you so much once again for that. Yes, I would just want to close in a way by just giving a few more details about everything that we spoke about. So we already discussed that what the era is going to be, right? So when I was talking about taking action, this is now your time to take action, because in this 40 minutes, whatever we spoke, and the next 20-minute question answers, whatever we'll speak, is absolutely not enough for us to understand or get these skills. So we planned and we have come up with a 5-day power pack course, which is going to help you get each of these topics being trained in detail. Now, what is it going to be about? Day 1 is going to be about super cooperation, which means developing talent for efficiency and effectiveness and create time for innovation. Now, how do we get efficiency from the team? How do we get cooperation from our collaborates? How do we collaborate with our peers? And then how do we innovate with all that? So one entire session, which will be a 1-hour session for this, would be on the day 1. Day 2, stealth rapport building. Rapport building, there was only a little glimpse that I could give, because there's a time constraint and we just cannot go on and on for long. So we will have one separate session for rapport, which will be different and more advanced than what I did yesterday also. So for all the people who were there yesterday, that was one part of it. This will be an advanced part of it, which is going to talk about forging stronger relationship with clients, associates, peers, and even the teams, right? Day 3 would be surpass competition, grabbing market share, creating monopoly, and highlighting your brand. Now we are actually going to do some real-time case studies, invite some real-time business owners who would come and share about how they have taken monopoly in their business and what are the techniques that they are applying in these times, which is going to help them post this phase, right? Day 4 is going to be top negotiation techniques, which means avoid discounting and secure profitable deals. So just like Mihir told us that, sometimes in the desperation of selling our products, we just, start bargaining, and then we are like, okay, if not this much, that much, or whatever. So just to understand how we can negotiate in a way that we do not have to come down with our prices, rather give value and, help them also grow, so that whatever they are paying you is like a happy kind of a thing for them also. The 5th day is going to be master your closing skills. Now learn to close deals without hesitation, which means that everything that we do, building rapport and, step by step, taking everything into place, if we are not able to close a deal, it's really of no use ideally. So we have planned this workshop in a way that, it can help you not only build relationships, reach out to the right people, but also have the right kind of closing. And this closing is not just for selling your, products, but also selling your ideas or anything that you are wanting the other person, to understand, and more so focusing on the sales that you do. So this is the 5-day program that we have come up with, which could, help us elaborate more on whatever we spoke about today. Precisely saying that today we understood what we need to do and why we need to do it. Now, how we need to do it step by step is something that we are going to incorporate in these courses. And they are definitely going to be extremely helpful to all the business owners, whoever is trying to, take a bigger leap and not just survive, who is wanting to reinvent and not just, die for the survival thing, right? So that is precisely what we want to offer. Why did my screen share go away? Please come back. I'm sorry for this delay. Right. So what is it that we want from you? All we want from you is 1 hour of your time every day from 29th April to 3rd of May. We are going to have this every day from 6 to 7 p.m. We have tried to keep the times when, you're almost done with your work, and, you can have that 1 hour of coffee with us and just learn some, really good techniques which are going to take you to the next level. And I promise you that that is going to happen. Okay. You are going to take 2 or 3 steps ahead once you're enrolled with us. Now, this course, the material and everything that goes into this is total worth of rupees 12,000, but only for the action takers who will enroll today. And because this is going to be our first program, we are giving an introductory offer of 3,000 rupees for one person. So that is the offer, my friends. And what is it that you get from here is, what do we give you? It's a 5-day live coaching between me and Mihir. We are going to be your life coaches for the next 5 days, including question and answers, including whatever, might be a little bit of mentoring required. Plus, we also have bonus sessions where 30 minutes with me and 30 minutes with Mihir. The first coaching would be free for the first 30 minutes, which is a bonus with this program. And also, we are coming up with our next webinar where we will be having 5 top businessmen coming and having a panel discussion about what are the strategies they are implementing into their businesses to go to the next level. So for that, you will have an absolutely free entry, and you will really benefit from that session also. So this is what I have for you guys. And now we would like to open it up for questions. And once again, I really, really want to thank each one of you for having entrusting us with your 1 hour. I'll just put it forward to Mihir so that he can just say a few words before we open it up for questions.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Ajil, can we have the spotlight on Mihir?
So thank you very much, everybody. I think it was a great session so far. There are a lot of insights which every single one of you can get in the Power Up session, which is for 5 days. Just imagine if 1 hour can get you some insights. Imagine what 5 days, 5 hours can do for you. Now, I assure you that if you take an action right now, it is going to be very beneficial for your business, because your colleagues, your peers, your competitors are actually going ahead and learning right now. So are you going to take that step is something which is going to decide your future and your future success. I urge you to go ahead and take that decision, go ahead and learn. So my objective is to add value to people's life, and here I am. So thank you very much, Jaya, even for collaborating and having this kind of opportunity where I could add value to people's lives. So over to you, Jaya. Let's have the questions and answers. Any point of time, if you have any questions, do ask, please.
Yes, we can now open it up for questions. And Tarun has already posted the payment link. So whoever is already making the payment now, please, type it in the box once you have paid up so that we can just give a shout out to you. So that being that, I want to encourage everybody to have more and more questions, anything around whatever topics we spoke about, anything that would help your business, go to the next level, any input that we can give that can help you get either more clients or cooperation or any innovation in your product, anything that we can help you with, the time is now to ask. So Please have your questions pouring. I mean, are we not able to see the questions? You can type the questions in the chat box so that we can just see them then. Kajal, are there any questions?
Not yet.
Okay. Anybody who's staying up, also give us a shout out so that we can know that you've already done the payment and who are the people whom we are going to have on board. Somebody has unmuted. I think they want to ask a question. You all can raise your hand, people, if you want to come on video and ask a question, or you can type it in the chat box.
Yeah, hi Jaya. Good evening. This is Abhishek from Talent Corner, Pune branch.
Hi, Rishit.
Yeah, hi. I'm the owner of Pune branch of Talent Corner.
Okay.
Hi, Jaya. I have a question for you. Can you share some tips or techniques for the negotiation with the clients, specifically for the recruitment industry?
Sure. I think it's a question related to negotiation. I would like Mihir to take that. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah. Mihir, we can have your inputs about negotiation.
Sure. So negotiation in a recruitment firm, I think it is something which is going to be very critical. Are you the recruiter or?
Yes, I'm the franchise owner of the branch of Talent Corner. So my question is, while talking to client, how do we negotiate a particular deal? So what specific techniques, if you can share one technique, that would be really helpful.
Mm-hmm. So first is probably, people can, I always say that people can be better negotiators, but you can be better planners. And if you plan well, you can outbeat or out-negotiate the better negotiator. So at this point of time, when you are going to speak to your clients, you need to also understand the situation and make sure that the client realizes the situation very well, that there is going to be a surplus flow of talent right now in the market. How do you make sure that you get the right kind of talent who will stick in that organization? This is something which probably you need to highlight to the client and why they should choose your services.
Okay.
So I believe that negotiation is not magic. You cannot just have one small thing and make sure that negotiation happens and the client gets convinced. There is a structured approach to it. So there is a negotiation planner, understanding your situation with the client, understanding what kind of variables are there which can be leveraged to make sure that the client is still with you. How do you position those variables? So there are a lot of things which actually come in picture. It is not just one thing.
Okay.
There are like many things which come in.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much for your question. Thank you, Mihir, for your insight. We have a lot of people saying thank you, and there is one question which is asked by people are wanting to know the dates. So because we said we want quick action, we are starting this course right from day after tomorrow, which is 29th of April till 3rd of May. So that within the lock time, we have a lot of skill set and a lot of planning already done for our businesses. So that is one thing. And whoever, I'll just mention everybody who's saying thank you. Shakun says, Jaya, as you mentioned, one of the mistakes that business owners do is being in survival mode. But in current scenario, due to the pandemic, most businesses are in pandemic mode. Absolutely, you're so right. Because we are in so much panic and worry because times are so uncertain. We don't know when the lockdown will open, when whatever dates are being given, like now it's the 3rd, maybe it will extend. And even when it opens up, is our industry going to open? Are we going to have hands full of work? So yes, definitely the worry of survival is natural, and survival is a natural instinct for human beings, no doubt about it. Having said that, if that is the only thing that we will worry, then that itself will become like a faraway goal. But if you're aiming at something a little more further away, which is reinvention, which is coming back with a bang, which is inventing a new product, innovating something new, then your survival becomes something on the way and it will just pass by. It will be very easy to survive when you think about reinvention, when you think about changing yourself, a lot of jobs will change. People cannot just stick and be attached to their jobs. People cannot be attached to the same kind of business. So when I said that, a coach may not want to get into manufacturing or that kind of a business, a manufacturer business, I also meant that if need be, one will need to turn around the entire business strategy, the entire business also. So if you really think that you are into some business which is probably not going to solve any problem, probably not going to have much value in the future, then a coach definitely can go to the manufacturing too. But then we have to keep in mind that there will be so many steps to be followed and there will be so much time in between. So, maybe you will have to think of that, few months that no income might be generated, but yes, value can be generated, your visibility can be generated, your brand can, have some kind of value. So yes, you're absolutely right. People are in pandemic mode, and this webinar or the coming workshops is typically based on the idea to get people out of that pandemic mode and get into reinvention mode. So that is the whole idea. That's your question, Chapun. Okay. So Parini has a question. Jaya and Mir, my question is, will it be the right time to introduce a product at this time of money crunch? Mir, would you like to take that question?
Sure. I think whenever there are challenges or a difficult situation, this is the time to actually go ahead and innovate and do something which is very creative. Take the market by surprise. So, if you ask me, I do feel that yes, it is the right time to go ahead and invest in the market to make sure that right now you will have lesser competitors. Introduce a new product, let it gain some momentum, let the visibility be there. And if you could probably have something at an introductory price, people are going to go ahead and try it out. So I think yes, it could be the right time based on the pricing, based on what is the kind of product, what is the kind of segment, and how is the industry moving forward. So yes, there is a calculated decision which needs to be taken in. So you could probably do a SWOT analysis or a PESTLE analysis and then think about, is this the right time? But I do believe that yes, you are at an advantage right now, considering this particular situation. Introduce a new product. Yes, sure, why not?
Okay, so we have, thank you so much, Mihir, for that. And I hope that answers your question, Parini. Yashi says, thank you very much. So thank you, Mihir. Then we have Abhishek Chumle. He says, thank you, Jaya and Mihir, for this wonderful session. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for acknowledging that. Seema Doshi, thanks, Jaya and Mihir, for sharing insights on mistakes we do and importance of negotiation and closing with profit. Very informative. Thank you, Seema. We are very glad that we could add at least some value. And, this 1 hour has been of purpose for all of us here. Money Gyan. Okay, hi. This is my friend from Entrepreneur Social. Jaya, we are into wealth management. How this training will be benefited to us. So, talking about wealth management, see, this is typically for any kind of business that is looking for growth at this point, or is feeling stuck and feels that they want to grow but maybe are not finding the way. So these techniques where now whom you should collaborate with, how you need to negotiate, how you're going to close, how you're going to sell your ideas or your products. If you have the clarity about this, it is definitely very easy to, take a bang in the market. So with that regard, even wealth management definitely will benefit out of this course. Would you agree, Mihir?
Yes, I would like to share some.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, considering wealth management part of it, if you have been in that domain for quite some time, you kind of get used to how things work. But you may not be aware of the best practices which are followed in other industries, in other sectors. So in my 20 years of my career, going ahead different places, interacting with so many different organizations, so many different industries, just imagine the kind of wealth of knowledge that I would have, considering the best practices and the experiences of all these people who are in sales domain. So this is one of the most interesting things to learn. Is it is not just about an industry, but it is about the tips, the techniques, the tools, and the best practices which can be used at this point of time, and make sure that your business grows despite of the difficult or the struggling situation. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. We already have our first payment in. Thank you so much for joining in. And I think there's someone else who's trying to pay. So we have different options. One is InstaMojo that you can pay from. We have Paytm, we have Google Pay, and we have direct transfer in the account. So whichever is convenient. Tarun, you can also share the Paytm and Google Pay details. And thank you for all those of you who have paid us on InstaMojo. Thank you, Parini. We have a second enrollment here. Thank you so much. Meenal, gratitude for tipping us and giving more clarity how to deal after such a long break with new thought process. Thank you, Meenal. Thank you for attending this. Paytm and Google Pay would be on the same number, so you can use that. And InstaMojo, of course, that's the easiest to click. So would we have any more questions? Then we can take them. We can take 1 or 2 questions more if we like to. Otherwise, we are done with our timing. Why not we have everybody's videos on and just wave a hello to everybody? Can we do that? Kajal, can we have the entire screen with everybody and just wave a hello to each other?
Yeah, I would request everybody to put on their cameras, please.
So remove the spotlight from me so that we can see everybody together.
Everybody can go in the gallery view, so you can see each other. Gallery view.
Okay, gallery view, all right. Yes, so I get it. So hi Abhishek, hi Prince.
You all can scroll left or right, so that you all can see it.
Hi Amit. Hi, one more Amit. Kajal, yes, of course. Meherzadeh, hi. Hi Peenal. Hi Jaideep. Hi Sabi. Hi Tarun. Hi Sandhya. Sandhya, we cannot see your video. Manigyan's video is also off. Hi Meenal. Hi Kinjal. Hi Kashish. Hi Shakun. Thank you each one of you for being here and allowing us to be with you for 1 hour. We really had a very, very good time. Thanks to each one of you, and I hope we were able to add some value. If there's anything anybody would like to add, please feel free before we sign off.
You all can unmute yourselves and start talking. Kashish, yeah, you want to say something? You have to unmute yourself, Kashish. You need to unmute yourself.
We still can't hear you. Can you unmute her, Kajal?
I have done it from my side. She also has to do it from her gadget.
Okay. Say something now, Kashish. Okay, so we all can also stay connected via our emails that we have sent you. You all can send us a mail if there's any further query or anything that you require. And we can take some questions of the also.
Jay, I think Sebastian also has said something.
Yeah, Sebastian, can we have the spotlight on Sebastian?
Yeah, they all need to unmute and start their video. If they don't on their video, I can't put them on spotlight.
Okay, Sebastian.
Yeah, I think we have Kashish is back. We have Kashish back here.
Okay.
Now, because I've already unmuted for the second time.
Yeah.
Now we can hear.
Hello.
Okay. I would like to say is a big thank you to of course, the co-speaker. I joined it late.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, Sebastian, wait.
Thank you so much for these insights. And looking forward to more webinars like these to give us the information and the knowledge that is required post the pandemic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kashish. Yeah, Sebastian, now you could say.
Hi, Jaya, Mir, thank you so much for covering these lovely points. I could take some good notes. So I put my question across for Mir. I'm actually a network marketing professional. So, this industry over the past century years, they work on a 10% success average rate. So how could, this 5-day session help, to do something better, what I'm currently doing, or change some norms of the industry?
True. So I believe that first of all, during this phase, the network marketing field is actually booming.
Yes.
So that is one very good point for you right now. The second good point is that knowledge never goes waste. I have had people from the network marketing field and who have gained a lot of inputs and implemented those inputs to grow their business. When you talk about closing or when you talk about negotiation, I'm sure in your field or in your domain as well, there are some trainings which do happen, and there are some experts who have been very successful and they share their knowledge as well, right? However, considering when you look at from a trainer perspective, so someone like me who has just been into training for last 20 years, so you can imagine the kind of knowledge or the wealth of knowledge that I would have, and it is not just related to network marketing domain, but it is anything and everything to do with sales. So obviously there would be some nice key pointers that I would be sharing during that particular session. And even if you get, as I mentioned, that even during the start of this webinar, if you get one learning point which can help you to grow in your professional life, you're sorted. Right? So imagine if in this 1 hour, if you're able to get 1 point, imagine if you sign up for the power up in 5 hours or 5 days, and plus the one-on-one that we would be having. Imagine what is the kind of knowledge that is going to come into your way for your success. Right. So hope, Sebastian, I was able to answer your question.
Yeah, to some extent.
Right. So there is, I'm sure there is a lot of knowledge which can be shared. And I believe that every single individual, so we will have some specific things which are related to your personality, which are related to the way you operate things. And it is not just about me sharing of things. It is me also about understanding what do you require, at what stage are you in, and then give you some tips and pointers which can elevate your position. So it will take much more than that particular discussion, because as of now, I do not know what is the kind of work that you are doing or how are you approaching, okay? And where are the challenges that you are give you some solution. Like you cannot go to medicines. That does not happen like that. The doctor is always going to ask you about what are the challenges that you are facing and what are the symptoms and what are your goals, and only then the medicines get prescribed. Right, Sebastian?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Sebastian, for that question. Thank
Thank
you,
you. Thank you, Mir.
Thank you so much for answering that. And thank you so much, Amit Dhanraj Badia. We received your payment, and a big shout out to you. Thank you for trusting us with this, and you be rest assured, and